Hello, my name is Benedicta Apuamah, and today I'm going to be speaking to you about career opportunities within the XTGs. So, I'm doing this in partnership with the Instride Pathways Youth Foundation that is based in Nigeria, and with the founder being Adeyinka Adegboke. And actually, this is part of their 100-day career boost initiative for Nigerian undergraduates and graduates. Come along with me. Who am I? I'm Benedicta Apuamah. You already know that. I'm a Nigerian trained pharmacist and I have a master's degree in international health and social management from the Management Center Innsbruck in Austria. I also have over 5 years of experience working in program management. I've worked with international organizations like the UN, Management Sciences for Health, SOS Students Villages International, etc. I recently won the Science Speed Talk competition at the Geneva Health Forum in Switzerland, 2024, to be precise. So that's just a little bit about me. For the purpose of this lecture, we're going to be talking on what is a career, what's a career path, what are really the UN SDGs, and how do these two intersect? How and when do you start? What next after this course? And of course, you connecting with me. What is a career? A career can refer to profession, someone's occupation or vocation. And since we're dealing more with undergraduates and possibly recent graduates, your career can be linked to your course of study. Your career goes beyond what you study in school. So a career path really it's about the jobs, or series of jobs that a person has done. So that's what actually builds up a person's career. Would learn more. Now that we have an idea what a career or a career path is, what are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals? What are they really about? So we hear about the UN. The UN is an organization, a big organization that has what we call convening power. And the reason why they have that power, the reason why they are that big is because they are made up of representatives from different countries. Okay, so these representatives from different countries came together to say, what can we do to make our world a better place? I'm talking about over 100 countries. So we're talking Nigeria, we're talking the US, the UK, we're talking different countries. So you know that the problems or the challenges that are in Nigeria are different from the challenges in other countries. Maybe the central problem might be, for instance, let's say climate change, for instance. But the way it affects Nigerians might be different from the way it affects Germans and the way it affects people in Asia. You know what I mean? So they came together to put a set of goals that these goals, however they look, affects either one of the countries or a group of the countries or all of the countries. So the idea is, okay, how can we achieve peace and prosperity in our various countries? Then maybe let's set goals. So goal 1 has to do with no poverty. So what can we do to ensure that all of our countries get out of poverty? Goal 2 talks about hunger. What can we do to ensure that people are not starving? Should we invest more in agriculture? For people in Nigeria, they can say, okay, maybe let's invest in agriculture. People outside of Nigeria, they may also talk about agriculture, but their problems may be different from other countries. For instance, Nigeria generally has good weather. For people who are living in Europe or places like Russia, where more than half of the year the ground is covered with snow, how do they grow food? So you see, even though they are generally talking about one topic, hunger, the ways in which each of those countries will tackle this problem will be different. So that's the idea of having these 17 goals. And it's so important to know that not only do people set goals, they are not just ambiguous or ambitious goals. I say, okay, no hunger without a roadmap. These goals actually have targets. If you take time to read, they have targets under them, different points, different areas. For instance, my area of interest is especially XG3, which talks about health, ensuring that people have access to health. So under that, you see different areas that they align on places that for us to be able to achieve, good health and well-being for people all over the world. They talk about issues maybe like sexual reproductive health, maybe they talk about teenage pregnancy, those kind of things. And there are 17 of them. I hope you understand. I have a full course. It's called Assessing International Opportunities within the UN on YouTube. At the end of the lecture, you would have my name the way it is, that you can find me on YouTube, and you can also access this course there for free. Yes, just subscribe while at it. Now you have an idea what your career path is and what the UN SDGs are. So how do they come together? Or how do they intersect? Some careers actually directly or indirectly advance the UN SDGs. It's interesting to know, remember I told you that your career goes beyond your course of study. Aligning your careers with UN SDGs is like giving your careers different opportunities to blossom or to shine. So ordinarily, like I mentioned, that my first degree is in pharmacy. You would think maybe, yes, I should be working in a hospital or community pharmacy outlet or in research or what, in the industry. But because I have found out about the UN SDGs, I've been able to still align the different works that I do while still in health or pharmacy or public health. Still, it aligns with the UN SDG 3, which talks about good health and well-being. So aligning your career goals with the SDGs not only ensures that you're advancing your personal goals or the objective of the organization that you're working for, but also that you're contributing to the global well-being. All right, I'm going to explain more. How and when do you start? The fact that you're already taking this lecture means you have started already. So for the how is what I'm here to guide you on. What is your course of study? What is your passion? What really do you like? What are you passionate about? And how can you align your passion or your course of study with the UN SDGs? I'm asking about your passion because I know that there's a very good possibility that what you're studying in school is not really what you like. You say, oh, well, this is what the university gave me, Uniport or Delso or Uniben, this is what they gave me, but this is what I like is another thing. The good thing about the UN SDG, like I said, or a career, yes, it can be linked to your course of study, but it is not limited to that. There are so many things that you can do. So if you can align your passion or your course of study, whichever one appeals to you most with the UN SDGs, you will go very far. There are 17 of them. So don't mind me that I'm making examples around 3, 4, or environments and all that. You can go and study the goals, the UN SDGs. The goals, they have targets under them. So when the UN came together, the member states to create the 17 goals, they did not just make ambiguous or ambitious goals of saying, okay, let's eradicate poverty. Like SDG 1 talks about what? No poverty. 2 says no hunger. It's okay, no hunger in the whole of Africa, in the whole of Asia, the whole of Europe, America. But how do you do that? That's where the targets come in. I am more familiar with XG3 because of my background in health. So it's not just about saying, oh, let everyone have good health, let everyone, have access to health or well-being. there are targets underneath. So there are things that can count as making the country not to have good health, or that people there don't have well-being. It could be teenage pregnancy. It could be malaria for Africa, especially tropical Africa. It could be sexual reproductive health, care, and this is not just Africa but globally. So there are targets underneath. Your course of study or your passion may not intersect with the entire goal. It may be a target, and that is enough. So, which of the UNSDGs or the targets does it align with? Who are your target audience? For the career that you want to build, who are your target audience? Are there people who are already doing what you would like to do, or something similar? Because this will give you the opportunity to study other people, to say, oh, okay, maybe this is this is how they did theirs. Maybe I should learn from them, etc. What next? Your action plan. So I'm sure, having taken this lecture to this point, you already have ideas, lots of ideas coming to your mind, and that is very good. And you also need to know that it's all right not to have it all figured out from the beginning. It's okay. I didn't have it all figured out from the beginning, and right now I don't think I still have it all figured out. I'm still learning and relearning or learning and all of that, asking questions. So that is it. But it's important that you create a plan. Nonetheless, please create a plan. This plan will help you identify what resources that you need. What do you need to start? Do you need to volunteer somewhere to gain skills, to gain more experience on what you would like to do? Do you need to take a course like you're already doing now? Do you need to take more courses like the course that I have on assessing international opportunities within the UN SDGs on my YouTube, Benedicta Apuamah? You can find me. Do you need to do some research? Do you need finances? But whatever it is, start from where you are. Start anyways, whether you have everything complete or not. Just start. And the fact that we already have tools like the social media tools, utilize those. You have so much power already. Utilize them. Since we're talking about the UN SDGs, which is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, it's important that you set goals too. And not only should you just set goals, you should set smart goals, because goals give you direction, and allow you to be focused, on where you should go and all of that. So what do I really mean by smart goals? We're going to find out. And what do I mean by smart goals? Specific. You should know exactly what the outcome of the goal is. I know I told you that you don't have to have it all figured out from the beginning, but it's okay to set goals and to think, within this context of having a smart goal. Be specific. Try to be as specific as possible. Even though, yes, there may be some turnout of events, but it's good to have a plan. Let your plan be measurable. So you see how I mentioned that, they're taking away plastics from this place, to reduce breeding ground for mosquitoes, to also help curb climate change, and making beautiful artworks out of them. So how can they track, the impact of what you're doing? Your goal should be, you should be able to track it. How can you track? One of the wonderful ways is, it can be through small surveys or small research. I didn't learn this immediately, but now as I'm growing and with a master's degree, I am learning more. So how can you track, for instance, let's say in that community, people know that they treat, or in that street, they know that they treat malaria maybe once in 3 months. But maybe since him and his friends started picking up those plastics from those places, reducing the breeding grounds of mosquitoes and all those things, now people are now beginning to treat malaria only once in 6 months. There you have it. That's your result. And how can you measure this? Simply creating small surveys. They don't have to be all structured, everything so well done. Just having a few set of questions, to give people to answer or to even ask them. If depending on how the neighborhood is, if it's a place that you can send links to people, Google Forms for them to fill, sure, that even helps you analyze it better. So this is just, but if it's also to just go around to ask them, and take notes, that's also something. So your goal should be measurable. If you're saying, okay, I want to be able to create something or do something or align my career path, align my course of study or my passion with the UN SDGs, how do you measure that? Maybe by successfully designing a project or by successfully finding an organization to volunteer with during your free time. That is something achievable. You should be able to achieve your goals. So it should be, like I said, baby steps. It should be something that you can do now. Don't go put something too high that you cannot do. And it should be relevant. So will this help you on the long run? If you're doing something now, the goal you're setting now, as against the future, will it, for instance, you say you want to, like I said, you want to align, if the goal is to align your career or your passion with the UN SDGs, will volunteering with an organization right now contribute to your overall goal? And it should be time bound. If you're saying, I want to do this, try and put a time frame to it. Okay, maybe, now I have exams or I have so many classes or so many assignments to turn in. Okay, but maybe in 3 weeks after I'm done, I can give it 1 week. Set time so that you know how to track it. Wow, you're the real MVP. Yo, we made it to the end. So thank you for coming to my lecture. This is the time you connect with me. On Facebook, you can find me as Benedicta Apuamah. On LinkedIn, you can find me as Benedicta Apuamah. On YouTube, which is very important because that's where you get the access to the free course. It's free. The only thing you need to do is to subscribe while at it. So on YouTube, you find me as Benedicta Apuamah, and you can also find me on Instagram as Benedicta Apuamah. Thank you for staying to the end. Thank you again. And remember, I'm doing this in partnership with the Instride Pathways Youth Foundation with Adeyinka Adegboke as the founder. And this is part of the 100-day career boost for Nigerian graduates and undergraduates. So thank you again. Thank you. Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Boluwatife Majoyogbe, and for this section we'll be speaking on decent work and economic growth, which is SDG 8. Let's get to it. Before we continue, please you should know a little bit about me. I'm Boluwatife Majoyogbe, a graduate of law from the Obafemi Awolowo University. I'm the founder of TechUp. And I know you might be wondering, what does a lawyer have to do with tech? So here is the fact that this idea of TechUp was birthed when I became a Millennium Fellow in 2021. So I worked on SDG 8 and SDG 4. So we trained young ones in secondary school and relevant skill for now and the future. So since then, I've been an SDG advocate, even though I've been in the social impact space for a while. This is my early days as an undergrad. So the essence of this is to actually, play our part in reducing the unemployment rate in Africa. We believe that startup is actually a very good solution to reducing unemployment, and we'll not just delve into startup without building the right skill in young Nigerians and Africa. So this is not limited to Nigeria, this is not limited to Africa, but that's our Mile. So that's the reason why you might be hearing that a little bit. So overview of the presentation, we have the introduction that's introducing the SDG 8, little bit of background and the features of SDG 8, that's promoting sustained economic growth, achieving higher level of productivity, adapting to the fourth Industrial Revolution and promoting development-oriented policies. Then we conclude. So let's go to the introduction. SDG simply means Sustainable Development Goal. So in the year 2015-2016, the then Secretary General of United Nations, that's Ban Ki-moon, and the Deputy Secretary General Amina J. Mohammed was brought up about 17 goals to sustain development among member states of the United Nations. So these goals are 17 and they are called Sustainable Development Goal. Having been that we have grown out of the Millennium Goal, like the year for the Millennium Goal has elapsed, and countries like China really dig deep into utilizing those Millennium Goals. To my mind, that's exactly what China implemented, and that brought them from a second world to a first world. So, moving further, I would say that SDG 8 is the 8th goal of Sustainable Development Goals, which is decent work and economic growth. So basically, it aims to sustain development, to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. So these goals, especially SDG 8, is channel. It has the aim majorly of preparing countries of the world for the fourth industrial revolution. We know there are technological advancement around the world, so this goes says to that, and I will tell you, is a timely one considering the things that have been happening way back 2016 and now in 2024. The goal emphasizes the importance of creating job opportunities that are not only productive but also provide a fair income, social protection, and safe working condition rather, and also environment. So let's go to the first aim of SDG 8. The first aim of SDG 8 is to promote sustained economic growth. So I'll be giving scenarios to explain what promoting sustained economic growth means. But before then, global GDP growth is expected to be 4.2% in 2024. But challenges like inequality and climate change could hinder progress. This is from Bloomberg. So what does it mean to promote? What's the aim of promoting sustained economic growth? Let's say, for instance, imagine you have a big jar of cookies and you want to make them last for a long time. So if you eat just one cookies every day instead of eating every one of them, like in a day, the cookies will last longer, right? And you can enjoy them every day. So sustained economic is like that. It means taking care of things in a way that keeps them going for a long time, instead of using all our resources or spending too much money to quickly enjoy gratification. We delay gratification. We use them carefully so that we can keep having what we need and want, and what we can keep having what we need for a long time. It is like making sure your cookies last and you have some every day. Like, instead of, oh, put this here, and within the first 10 days you've finished everything. Your plan was, these cookies will sustain me for the next 60 days. That is just an overview of promoting sustained economic growth. And then I will just put this to us in that looking straight at countries in Africa majorly, I would say if we religiously follow these 17 goals in Africa, we are good to go. In the next 5-10 years, Africa is ready. A developed continent if we follow through. Spoke about justice. Just take your time and read through the goals. And yeah, let's move to the next one: higher economic productivity. So, the productivity of labor in the global economy grew by 2.2 in 2023. But disparity between developed and developing countries remains significant. This is a source from World Bank. So, what does high economic productivity means? So, like I said, I'll be using scenarios. So again, you're imagining. So let's imagine. Or should we not imagine? Okay, what should a better word can I use? Okay, think about you having a toy factory where you can make toy cars. Yes. If you and your friends are really good at making toy cars quickly and with fewer mistakes, you can make a lot of toy cars in a short time. This means your factory is very productive. So there's a rule in economics while I was in high school that says the higher the supply, the higher the prices. I'm sure I'm right with this. Yes. So higher economic productivity is just like that. It means being able to make more things or do more work in the same amount of time. So if your toy factory gets even better or making toy cars faster with less effort, that's like having higher productivity. It's like being super efficient and getting a lot done within the same amount of time and resources. You agree with me that AI can play a part in this. So aside from that, you need to have trained people that are well skilled, well skilled set of people, and that is what we'll be going to in the third part of the aim of a sustainable development goal 8, which is adapting to the fourth industrial revolution. If you're working with me very well, you see that this is a little bit chronological. They are not in isolation. You cannot want to build a productive economy or a sustained economy without having the right manpower. And I tell you something for free. Africa is a youthful continent, which is a blessing already to actually outdo the world. On the global economic scale. We have about 70% of our population to be young persons between the age of 0 and 30, if I'm right. And we must be careful of our dilemma. If we do not put the right skill, build the right value in this set of people, they would look for something to make head mean, and so likely crime will increase and the like. So what you're seeing around many countries, I don't want to mention Africa. So let's move to adapting to the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is transforming industry with technology such as AI, Internet of Things as IoT, and robotics. It is expected to create 133 million euros by 2025, while displacing 75 million jobs, source World Economic Forum. This is why we go out to tell young ones, to tell people, learn a skill, learn a digital skill. It will pay off later because the world is evolving. The world does not use like 4 years to evolve again. It spends like 6 months, in fact, sometimes 4 months, 3 months to evolve. I can talk about what we're seeing in way back 2019, 2018. It's all on startup, build idea, e-commerce, and Nigeria. That's where you have, ideas like what do you call these people that buy things from them online, and a lot of Conga. Quite a number of them. 2018, 2017, those were the things trending. And fast forward to like 2019, 2020, fintech came to blow up the Nigeria space. I have quite a number of friends that founded their own startup, got money from US and the likes, and they were doing good until some things came up. So for us to build all these things, we need the right manpower, the right digital skill, the right knowledge, the right value among our young persons. I think there was a time I wrote on my LinkedIn page that the world is moving at a very faster pace. Before you look at it, it was the dot-com bubble. Then we moved to the social network age. Then from there, we stayed in the social network age. Then came in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and the likes. And cryptocurrency never even stayed like too long on the radar. And that was in Nigeria in 2020. I know Bitcoin was, I think, mined in 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto, if I'm right. So all this is till Web3 came. Then we started hearing about AI, artificial intelligence, IoT, metaverse, talk about them. And now you see what AI is doing. Recently, I was reading Elon Musk's page, and he made mention of um, artificial intelligence limitation bill in California. I went to read up on like, wow. So the world is not even waiting again. They've seen how far danger, how risky AI can be. On the surface, it's still, I mean, um, using AI to mimic somebody's voice and making them say what they actually did not say and to be trending online and everywhere. And the person will be wondering, wow, when did I make this statement? Political propaganda and the like. So, and this is just the beginning. And I was joking with my friend, this is not scary, that terrorism in the next few years will not be about people carrying gun and the likes again. Could just be sending a robot down like what you see in the movie to a particular domain and you control it from your room. So you see how fast the world is going. Don't be scared. That's just an enlightenment. So let's move on to the fourth one. Now this is where you see our job as a lawyer. Development oriented policy. Which I would say there's nothing you want to do in this life that you don't have rules and regulation. Like I made mention of California bill to mitigate the risks of artificial intelligence, robots, and the like. So we need rule. Let me just usually this time I will use imagine. But before then, countries implementing development oriented policies saw a 30% increase in job creation compared to those without. This is from United Nations Development Program. I listened to Vusi Tembekwayo and he made mention of a statement. Vusi Tembekwayo is a South African entrepreneur and he's doing well. He's doing well. I listened to a lot of his podcasts and I've learned a lot. So that's just on the flip side. He made mention of something sometimes ago and he said, imagine Mark Zuckerberg in the continent of Africa, like some of us are, and with that fantastic idea of Facebook. Who do you think we give him $500k ground dollars? I mean $500,000 to? I mean, who do you think? Just imagine. So policies will actually create a better environment for development. How do we can know we have a startup act 2022 that gives startup tax holiday, but one major issue we have in Africa is the fact that we do not know how to implement the right. We don't know how to implement sweet policies that we have. We have some fantastic policies, but they're not followed judicially. Is an internal problem, especially here in Nigeria. I mean, take a look at the Startup Act. Even though I have some bit of criticism, and one of the criticism is building an ecosystem in each state that can actually withstand. Like I was saying, you don't just start putting money on startup when you don't have the technical know. Though the world is a global village, but also, no matter how remote job may be thriving, sometimes we still need to see. We still need an office space to work sometimes. And if imagine we having startups here in Nigeria and in a low income country, think about it. And we do not have enough citizens that knows the technical know how to run those startups. And what are these basic skills, like I used to say? Learn computer programming, learn video editing, learn animation, learn artificial intelligence, learn robotics. I mean, learn, I beg your pardon, learn data analysis. Excuse me, sorry for that. Learn data analysis and just this few I've mentioned cut across so many. Cyber security, how would I forget such a great skill? So these are just largely my opinion. I feel it will help the continent of Africa in building a startup. So in conclusion, before I conclude, I want to say this. SDG 8 is not in isolation. One of the best way I feel skill can be built is infusing them into the educational system. There's a reason why Lionel Messi is a very great player. Haaland and the likes. Have you thought about their upbringing? Messi's father was a coach in Argentina and at a very young age he discovered the skill. So little wonder he has been in Barcelona since he was very young, sponsored by UNICEF, and you see what great he has made to the world. Talk about her lad. Talk about Mark Zuckerberg, whose father, at a very early stage, put him through someone that teach him how to code. In those days, they saw the future. And all these things came in form of education. So one of the best way that quality education can be built is infusing some of the goals of SDG8, decent work and economic growth, into the educational system through our vocational, um, subject that we used to have in primary school, secondary school those days. But now have computer programming, robotics, and the likes. It is going to expose young ones. We don't have to start it. Let's look through the future. AI is going to take over. My friend said recently, I'm a software developer and I must tell myself the truth. AI is likely going to come and take my job. I'm a lawyer. I don't want to tell myself the truth. There'll be one robot lawyer that asks me to sit down tomorrow, and then that's the fear generally from everyone. I remember in 2018, my friend and I went for a pitch deck in Apuamah Law University, and the idea we had was to make government agencies run faster by digitalizing most of their operation. And somebody on the panel just said, "I work in so and so place. So, do you mean my job with this place?" And my friend responded, "Either you like it or not." Jobs are evolving. There was a time that typists, shaitan people were actually making big wave. But I don't think anyone hear about them now again. So the world is evolving. So you have to evolve. You have to evolve. Dear accountants, you have to evolve. Dear medical doctors, dear lawyer, you have to evolve. Please be tech inclined. Be tech inclined. It's very, very important. Those of you that want to study medicine, those of you that want to study law, any course you want to study in university, please be tech inclined. And there are new courses in university now in Nigeria, like cybersecurity, and why don't you look into those things? Information technology. Yeah, the world is evolving, though we are not at a very fast pace, but we also we're trying to catch up with the world. So in conclusion, the achievement of Sustainable Development Goal 8 is fundamental to building of a resilient and inclusive future. You will agree with me that by fostering decent work, economic growth, we can create society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. This is very, very important. The 30 Days Career Boost Initiative serves as an essential platform to empower Nigerian undergraduates and graduates, aligning their aspiration with the global agenda of sustainable development. As we navigate through challenges and opportunities presented by the fourth industrial revolution, our focus must remain on creating equitable access to skill education and ensuring that economic growth benefits all. I'm Buluat Feminist and Majorigbe. On this note, I want to say thank you for your attention, and I look forward to our collective journey towards a more sustainable and prosperous future. Yeah, have a great day. Thank you.